Hey my friend, it's Adam, or
Dad, if my kids are watching.
because this video is for them, as today I wanted to share some of the millionaire ideas and business secrets and life lessons that have helped me get to where I am today that I think will help them and will hopefully help you too. Let's start with the money stuff first, as money is a powerful tool that you can use to help solve problems, achieve your goals faster, and when used in the right way, can help make the world a better place. You can have everything in life you want if you'll just help other people get what they want. Serving others is the name of the game. The more people you help and the more you help them, ideally by helping them solve important problems that mean a lot to them, the more money you'll make. If you want to make $1 million, you can help 1 million people solve a $1 problem, or you can help a single person solve a $1 million problem, and pretty much every combination in between. And, fun fact, the $1 million problem is not 1 million times harder to solve, so I'd focus my efforts and energy towards that end of the spectrum. If you don't know what to do though, or what that even looks like, that's okay. All it means is that there's some kind of a lack of a skill or a skill gap there that we need to fill. A gap between where you are right now and where you want to go. And side note here, there should always be a gap, as the goal is to keep growing and improving. The key though to closing that gap usually comes in the acquisition of some kind of new skill. It could be a hard skill like coding or learning a foreign language or graphic design. Or it could be a soft skill like communication or teamwork or problem solving or decision making. Skills though really are the secret to getting anything you want, and there's nothing in this world that you can't learn. If someone has done it before, then you can do it too. And if someone hasn't done it before, well, there's a first time for everything. Just make sure that you never say that you can't do something. Just say you haven't done it yet. Spend time every day working on your mindset. Another Zig Ziglar quote here.
People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily.
Before I made any real money, I used to listen to motivational audiobooks every day. So start with Jim Rohn, then Earl Nightingale. Ryan Holiday's work on stoicism is also pretty profound and life-changing. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles is another good one. Ultimately though, when it comes to wealth, whatever you decide to do, always try to do it to the best of your ability. Another overused saying is the extra mile is never crowded. Others are going to notice, and even if they don't, you're proving to yourself that you're a winner, which builds just an unimaginable level of self-confidence. There's a quote I first heard from Jim Rohn that says you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Spend time with happy people, and you'll become happier. Spend time with fit people, you'll get healthier. Spend time with rich people, and you'll make more money. But the opposite is also true, so be very careful about the people that you surround yourself with. The people and environments around us have a greater influence on our lives than you could ever imagine. This doesn't mean to cut out everyone in your life who isn't on the exact same path as you, but rather be careful about spending time around people who all they seem to do is complain, never do anything, and always see the bad in every situation. Life's too short to waste your precious time hanging around those kind of people. Always try to increase your income by providing more value, but along the way, remember to spend less than you make. Never forget this, and start investing as early as you can, as Albert Einstein, one of the smartest people to have ever lived, famously referred to compounding interest as the 8th wonder of the world.
I agree.
Of course, as helpful as money is, it doesn't mean much if you're not around and healthy to enjoy it. So let's talk about health next. Sleep. Get lots of sleep. Prioritize it. Never be ashamed or embarrassed to leave somewhere early just to make sure that you're getting to bed on time and making sure that you're getting enough sleep. The fact is, successful people sleep. Period. Next, food. Nutrition advice changes all the time, and different things work for different people and at different points in their lives. So it's hard for me, if not completely impossible, to prescribe you a one-size-fits-all solution that's gonna last you for the rest of your life. That said, a little bit of common sense goes a long way, and the advice that I first heard from Michael Pollan seems to still ring true. And he says, eat real food, not too much, mostly plants. Real food means single ingredient stuff, like carrot, or almonds, or chicken. Stuff that doesn't come from a package or contains dozens and dozens of ingredients that you can barely even pronounce. Now, you're all young and healthy, so don't be afraid to have the odd piece of cake every now and then. Cake is delicious. Just remember the old saying of garbage in, garbage out, and if you want to look, feel, and perform at your absolute best, then you need to make sure that you're fueling your body and your brain with the absolute best possible nutrients. Okay, let's talk exercise. When it comes to exercise, like when it comes to nutrition, there's a lot of different things you can do. So, I'll keep it simple here and say that the best advice that I can offer you is to just keep moving. Find a sport or a physical activity that you like and then do your best to make it a part of your everyday life. For us right now, that looks like biking and hiking and climbing, running around the backyard, playing games. The key thing to remember with exercise, though, is that you've got to do it daily, and whatever you do, know that it's making you healthier, stronger, and happier too. Okay, let's talk nature. Big cities are absolutely awesome, especially when you're young, as they give you more opportunities for connections and relationships, both personal and professional. But nature, and not just time spent outdoors, but actually being in nature, surrounded by lakes and mountains and forests and trees, maybe the odd animal or two. Watch out for bears though. Well, does a body and a mind good. Time spent outdoors in nature has also been scientifically proven to make you happier. So on that note, let's talk about happiness next. Well, happiness is more subjective. What makes you happy may not make me happy, and what makes me happy may not make you happy. Some people like noise, and some people like quiet. Some like hot, some like cold. Some like strenuous physical activity. Others prefer relaxation and engaging in activity only insofar as is necessary to stay healthy. That said, there are some rules or general guidelines that most people agree on, so this is a good place to start. First off, a little gratitude goes a very long way. So always find ways to look around for things that you're grateful for. These could be big things like your family or the house you live in, or they could be small things like getting a new t-shirt or hearing a funny joke. Next, be careful with happiness and not to confuse short-term feel-good things like eating a piece of cake with the more substantial long-term feelings of fulfillment and pride that come along from doing things that matter to you, overcoming challenges, or spending time working on things that you feel are important. Also, we gotta talk about awe. Awe is that feeling you get whenever you look up at the stars and realize just how incredible our universe is. Or when you stop and think that dinosaurs used to live here. I mean, dinosaurs. Are you kidding me? It's crazy. Then there's curiosity. Never lose this desire to know things, to learn things, and to ask questions. The world is amazing, and there are so many cool things to see and do and discover. One of the real secrets to happiness, though, is growth. Progression, getting a little bit better every single day. And the secret to this is that you have to have goals, things you want to do or see or achieve. Maybe your goal is to save up enough money to buy and then build a really complicated Lego building. Maybe it's to get a good grade or win a sports tournament or learn a few new words in a brand new language. Whatever it is, it's good to have goals. Not for how you're going to feel when you achieve them, which I appreciate is nice, but more so for the person that you're going to have to become along the way as you work towards these goals. You'll get stronger, more resilient, more capable. The key with goals is to set one. Just choose something that you want to work on or accomplish, and then get started right away by doing what you can with whatever you have available. Action is the antidote to pretty much everything. Yes, thinking is good. So is planning. So is spending a few minutes making sure that everything is safe and looked after. But at the end of the day, nothing happens until you take action and actually go out and do the thing that you want to do. And sadly, this is a lesson that most people learn just far too late in their lives. So make sure that doesn't happen to you by taking action. All right, next, let's talk about some more principles of wisdom now. Wisdom, at least according to the dictionary, is the quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. So let's work on building those. First, experience, and the key here is to do stuff. Lots of stuff. Not sure what sport you want to play? Well, the only way to know for sure is to pick one that looks interesting, give it a shot, and see how much you like it after. Think painting might be fun? Then get some watercolor paints and make a picture, or just grab some crayons laying around and start there. Because remember, the key is to get started and do whatever you can with whatever you have available. Want to learn to play piano but can't decide if you should play guitar instead? Or bagpipes? Probably not bagpipes, but maybe bagpipes. Anyway, pick one. Anyone. The one that sounds most interesting to you, and give it a shot. You won't know until you try. But what do you do if you can't just go out and buy a piano or a guitar or a set of bagpipes all at the same time, just to find out 30 seconds later that the sound a beginner makes on bagpipes is equivalent to nails on a chalkboard? Well, that's where you can learn from the experience of others, reading books, watching videos, and talking to people in order to get a better understanding for whatever it is you're trying to do. For example, before I ever took my first flying lesson, I had already talked to hundreds of pilots. I'd read books on flying, I'd watched movies on flying, and I'd even practiced on a super simple flight simulator so that by the time I got into the cockpit for the first time, I already had at least a basic idea of what was about to happen and what was going to be required of me. Travel is important, because it's going to help you see that we as people have far more in common than we do different. But it's our differences that make life interesting and exciting, and there's something to be learned from everyone in every culture. Okay, this next part could have gone in wealth or happiness, but I wanted to put it here, as I think it applies to pretty much every area of life. So, Here's how it goes. The formula E plus R equals O stands for events plus responses equals outcomes. Life, as amazing as it is, isn't always fair. Sometimes, in fact a whole lot of times, some bad stuff's gonna happen, and it sucks, and I'm sorry. But this is the event part of the equation, and often what happens here is completely out of your control. But what is within your control is your response to the situation, and what you do here can either make things better or worse. For example, if someone does something that makes you mad, well, that's the event. You can scream and you can shout and you can yell at them and tell them just how horrible they are, and that is one option for a response. But it's probably going to get you and them an outcome that you're not going to be very happy with. Another option for a response then would be to let them know that they crossed a line and what they did wasn't cool, or you could just choose to separate yourself from them a bit and decide that you're not going to put up with that kind of behavior. Different responses, which will get you very different outcomes. Now, I appreciate the whole E plus R equals O thing is a bit scary because it means that in the end, it's ultimately up to you how things turn out. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. The big word here that I want you to keep in mind is accountability, being responsible for your actions. But it's also incredibly empowering, as it means you get to be the author of your own life story. A good example of this is a man by the name of Viktor Frankl, who experienced more pain, more trauma, and more suffering than we could ever imagine, but still walked away with a core belief and a quote that reminds us just how important your attitude is. Here's what he said.
Everything can be taken from a man but one thing. The last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way.
As human beings, though, I appreciate this is easier said than done, which is why I also want to share with you some tools that I've used over the years that I've found to be incredibly useful. The first is journaling, and I do this pretty much every single day. One of my favorite quotes is by Joan Didion, and it goes, "I don't know what I think until I write it down." This is how I feel. And writing things down allows me to get the jumble of words and thoughts and ideas out of my head and down onto a piece of paper where I can look at them more critically, more objectively. One of the biggest benefits of this is sometimes I'll write something down and then after reading it realize I don't feel that way at all. It was just a story I was telling myself, but I needed to get it out and look at it objectively in order to be able to properly discard it. A journal is also a great place to write down things you're grateful for. Try writing 3 things a day, and I promise it'll change your life. Meditation is another tool I've used off and on for years, maybe even decades by this point. It's something that admittedly I'm still working on, but what I can tell you quite confidently is that when I make sitting down for 10 to 20 minutes a day and just focus on my breathing or working through a guided meditation session, I feel better, more calm, more present, and happier. I believe that one of our main goals in life is to become the best version of yourself. This is not a linear path though. You're gonna need to try different things, go to different places, meet different people. This is why I believe one of the core ingredients to a good life is chasing fulfillment, not happiness. Do hard things, overcome challenges, build confidence by being uncomfortable and rising to the occasion. You get one life to live, so have fun. Make something, help someone, do things that make you feel proud. And if you've made it this far and would like some more tactical steps in the making money department, then you might also want to tap or click this video right here, which is going to walk you through a simple process to getting rich and becoming a millionaire. So make sure to check that out now. I'll see you in there in just a second.